Thank you so much for starting our meeting with a biblical verse. I would like to also do the same, and maybe Rachel, before I do that, may I also just get an opportunity to thank the organizers of this event. It's a vision in action, and as we see it right now, these things were thoughts that have become a reality. And the reason why we are here is also to put into reality the thoughts that are within us as well. So there is a favorite verse of mine. I think it's my favorite verse in the Bible. Genesis chapter 2, verse 18. I'll just paraphrase. Then it says, "And out of the ground God created all the beasts of the land and the air and the sea." The amazing thing that happens afterwards is this. Then God did the creation. After that it says, then He brings the things to Adam to see what He would name them. Okay. So Adam, being the prototype of human beings, was given a task because God knew he had a certain ability. I would like to believe that every other person who was born after Adam also has got certain abilities in them. And, if I were to start another, we say, then, let's do this together. You put your name in. Then God created me, and brought me to earth to see what I could do whilst I am on earth. And I think you're here to discover what you are meant to be doing. So that's what I'm going to be talking about. My task is very simple. I've been asked to sort of take you guys through the process of selecting a career. How do you do that? Sometimes, and you guys are very fortunate. It's just that it's not to gara business. Whatever it's going to open a phone for. See that you start bringing money at home. But sometimes it becomes very difficult because then you end up being in a certain place where you don't really like and that sort of thing. So these are the things that we're going to be talking about. So allow me, I shall be using this board just to go through this whole process. You will discover it's not a very difficult process. It's a very simple thing, but I want to start with, because here we are saying we want to develop a career. Yeah, well, I'm going to use this, but my handwriting is like, it's not cool. I want us to first and foremost define what a career is. What do you think a career is? And then we go step by step. What is a career? Because it's the thing that made you decide to say, well, I want to go there. I want to learn. We're not here, gathered here to learn about how, Occidentalities works. We're learning about careers, no? So let's start from there. What do you think a career is? And they always know. And sometimes I'm just looking for your own understanding so that we are in the same space. What is a career? You want to give it away? Yes. Give it away.
For me, I'll define it in my own words.
Exactly.
What I'm going to spend the rest of my life doing.
I like that. What I am going to spend the rest of my life doing. So if you decide, I'm just going to, teaser and Bible. So, if you're going to decide to spend the rest of your life, you can make a career. All right. You wanted to say something.
I think career is a definitely shows you towards a better destination.
What was your final destination? Great.
Your good given assignment.
Okay, I like that. Okay, good given assignment. You wanted to say something. Was it you? Yes, you wanted to say something.
I think career is something that you like
Mm. For destiny. Okay. So you find that I'll just go by Rebecca's as well, because we are not going to do textbook answers here. I didn't come with textbook knowledge. I came with the realities. Okay? So textbook, I'm not going to share, but here we're going to do realities. So what you choose to do for the rest of your life, whether it's going to give you a financial income at the end, or it's going to set you up in your community as a philanthropist or as whatever you are doing. So what will people come to you for is the easiest way I can define a career. What will people come to you for? Shama said, I am the go-to person when it comes to career-related issues, isn't it? This is the reason why I'm here. You know, that's why I've been dragged out of home today for me to be here, because that's what I have decided to do. And I've been doing this for the past 20 years, okay? Locally and internationally. So what will people come to you for is what we want to discuss. And you find that what people come to you for, if you've perfected your art, they won't come to you for it, for nothing. If we were to call a musician, maybe to say, just grace us, at this event and do an opening act and do something, they'll say, okay, how much are you willing to give me? Okay, so at the end of the day, it's what people come to you for. If people are going to discuss your name in certain offices, if people are going to discuss your name in certain boardrooms, what will it be about? So that's the thing. Now, the rest of my conversation is summarized in this statement. And this statement goes, if you know where you're going, if you know where you are going, you will know what to carry. If you know where you're going, you will know what to carry. Okay. It also means you will know what to leave behind. So my conversation here is to help you decide what to carry and what to leave behind. You guys knew you were coming to join a city, and this bonane suitcase, my blankets. And because you knew exactly where you were going and what was required there. And right, who akafana naoneni abunza my directions to this place. And you asked for directions because you knew where you were going and people directed you exactly to where you were going. Now imagine if you said, "Ndikuenda ku career event, but I was how will people direct you?" So that's what we want to be able to do. I want you to be able to say, okay, I've done this, but where I'm going, this may no longer be necessary. But this, I need to pick it up, and then I need to take it there. So that's how we're going to go about it. So the good thing is, career is what we're going to do the rest of our life. But I'm seeing my ages akasiyana. So I'm just going to encompass all of you. So I'm going to start from if you have ever noticed, many of us grew up with our parents instructing us to go to school, but nobody really ever asked, why are we going to school?
Yeah.
Did you ever ask?
No.
Why are we going to school? You know, we just wake up, dress up, go to school. End of the term, we've got a report card, and people are shouting at you, "Yeah, you must do that. Yeah, halfway, that sort of thing." or they are happy that you've got, but why are you doing that? Education system, but before paying the isiko, but why are we learning? So, I'm not going to go into details about the whole reason why, but you'll find that our education system starts with the primary. Okay? Then we go to, then we go to secondary. Let me just redo this one here. Starts with the primary. Okay? Then we go to secondary. Secondary is O level. Then we also have A level. Then we have university. Somebody would think, no, I think you made a mistake. I think university should be bigger than that, isn't it? But you find that the whole learning process has been designed such that it helps you identify who you are. So, if you had a U in mathematics, you shouldn't really be worried about that, because it has helped you understand that you are not a mathematician.
Right.
It has helped you understand that. So, you now begin to narrow it down. Okay, so you find that at primary school you learn a whole lot of things. Then when you get to high school, you still also learn quite a number of things. The subjects even increase, but now at primary school I think they're also doing similar number of subjects at high school. But you find that at high school you do at least 8 or so subjects. And you're learning all sorts of things. Some of the things are boring to you, but somebody is excited. I remember I was once in a certain classroom where there was this guy, classroom-wise, it was something else. But when it came to issues to do, this one, when we did music and the percussion and sort of things, that dude was a magnificent drummer. And you'd see his whole body light up. Okay? And unfortunately, we are not in a system where we can actually identify certain skills and then, run with it like our other people, Others, they can actually identify a certain skill and say, okay, you play tennis, we're going to invest in that, and they become specialists in that area. Okay? Well, I'm a father who's done that. I think I'm on the right track. I've got a daughter who started baking at 8. She's now 13 and doing it so well.
Wow.
And she's setting up some money aside. Well, she earns about $75 a week gross, and it comes
At
out.
13.
Yes.
Wow.
Because baking is reading a recipe, following it, and doing it. But somebody will read a recipe and create I don't know what sort of mineral that comes out of that. That sort of thing. But what I'm simply saying here, you learn a lot of things. But now, watch what happens with identifying careers and what usually happens. I deliberately put up to university, but we could even do it vocational. This is all focusing on that. You start broadly, and it starts narrowing. So at A level, you find this is why universities accept 3 subjects. You were doing 12, but out of the 12, then they'll say choose 3. And out of the 3, if you've ever noticed, if you've gone to university or any other, out of the 3, you're supposed to select only one that you take to university. So you become an accountant. Oh, like our dear here. Well, you learned all other things, and then you left everything else. You focused on one, because it's supposedly you have identified your niche and your what we call your domain of brilliance, and that then you pick it up and you go there. But especially between this part and that part and that part. And eventually I'll share with you a PowerPoint which has got a couple of things that I want you to, there are people who then, infringe with the decision-making process here. And I'm not sure where this material is going to be shared, but I want to make it clear that if there are parents, please don't infringe with people's decisions. You are not the one who is carrying this particular career. The best that you can do is support the decision making. You had your own opportunity to make your decisions. No. Right now, we knew there could be careers, social media manager. Somebody who's now managing the stuff that happens on the internet. 5 years ago, that was unheard of. Now we are recruiting via WhatsApp. 5 years ago, it was unheard of. You wouldn't recruit, So things are changing. And in each generation, you experience different changes. Now we're talking about Generation Z. And there's another generation that's coming up. With Generation Z, you will discover that offices are going to be a thing of the past. In fact, it has started. Hybrid offices, and you can sometimes work from home, sometimes work from the office, or anywhere else. So these things are happening in different timelines. So we start from there, and here you are the decision bearer, you are the decision maker. But not decided. That's what usually happens. But if anything else, you start from there. And you find that here, it's going to be even interesting. You can actually lead a career from a chapter of a certain topic, Right. I'm just going to go by Rebecca's profession because I know what she's, So she could have done, one of the chapters was financial management. And then you just pick that financial management and it becomes your whole life that you're going to live and forget other hosting and other things and just become that. Or maybe there was you want to decide, no, I'm just going to become a financial analyst. I'm forgetting everything else. Somebody says, I enjoyed the chapter in auditing. And they focus on that. But I'm not auditing, I liked public auditing. And they become the public auditors, then they work with governments. So there are quite a number of things. But I want you to know at the back of your mind, everything else that we are discussing starts from primary, where we are discovering. It's all the discovery process. You want, I knew very well at Form 2, but history, please. For those things, 1890 what, then I said, why are we even bothering ourselves learning about people who are dead? But somebody was quite interested in that. And when it came to Shona, people would then struggle. Here I am. Shona, I was just hoping to any exam. Teach the Form 4s when I was in Form 3 and somewhere there. And so you discover who you are and what you're capable of. And here I am. I'm talking. Give me an opportunity and platform. We will talk. So that's the whole process, of discovery. So you should never, find it difficult to choose what you want to do because it starts from there, narrowing down and going there. So that now the difficult parts, especially if you're very good, if you're an academically gifted person, you get 15. You've got 12 A's here. How do you choose the next part? You get 12 A's here. How do you choose the next part? Because everything is easy for you. Okay, so this is now where we want to get into and see what then happens, especially when we get from the A-O level going forward. How then do you select to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do? So that's the next part. Now, this part that I'm going to talk about, this is where most of us may be stuck. And here we are. God is seated up there. He's given you the opportunity to see what you could do with your talent, like what he did with Adam. But here you are, you're leaving that one day and you're pursuing somebody's talent because you found the, Who has been in conversations where they say, they have degree in fire as well, or they have qualification in fire as well. Who has been there in that conversations? And you choose something that you're going to do for the rest of your life based on Chiriku fire Mazwan. Do you get it? I just put out in the future, Hans Batshi Mazwan. So, the whole part of selecting a career is, or I can summarize it to, how useful you are going to be during your time on earth. Do you get it? Now, I want you to walk with me here. So, supposedly, my phone, Yafa, and I want to fix it. Then I get into a hardware shop and I come across a very nice hammer. So I mean, look, I come across a very nice hammer. I come across a very nice hammer, and here cheaper, and I buy it to fix my phone. Jawina. Guys. It's a nice hammer, but I want to fix my phone. Do you get it? I don't know. What did you understand from that? What did you pick? Yes, take it.
That hammer is very nice, but it's not useful for what you want to do.
Exactly. Thank you very much. So, hakuna degree risingashandi. Hakuna diploma risingashandi.
Okay.
But you may have acquired something that is not useful for you. I've seen people who say, hey, I started, there's one particular one, but I won't mention because then I started so and so, hey, that thing, what, and I say, do you know what you are sitting on? Let me show you. Come, let's go to the internet. Tumbono more opportunities are United Nations alone to set up elsewhere. And people start to say, so, but it's because Wakangons know that it is fire Mazwa. Somebody I met, she's an accountant, and she's studying monitoring and evaluation. And I'm asking her, monitoring and evaluation, what you're doing. If anything, you could have narrowed down to deciding something that's totally different. So you want to make sure that when you are selecting a career, we are saying this is how useful you are going to be throughout your life.
Wow.
It's God. Pasirine don't toolbox yanga. Marundinzwa. Don't toolbox yanga. You are a tool in the box run to do certain things that God wants to achieve. You become somebody who fits in a square hole or a round hole. It won't work out. So we want to come to a stage where then we ask, how do we select a career? Do we select a career based on what they did, what Mama did, or what they're telling you, or what your friends have said, Do we select a career based on a university? Some people say, no, okay, in a university you won't achieve. I would like to differ. You can go to a certain place based on what you want to do A. Okay, so remember our underlying statement. If you know where you're going, you will know what to care.
Chapter 1.
We want to understand and come up with things that we want to care. Okay, so it's an easy step, and it's just a 4-step method that I'm going to teach. I'm just going to take you through. So first and foremost, you need to know yourself. So the first thing that you need to do when you want to select a career is know yourself. Okay. So the older versions of us here, I think, or maybe me, I don't know. In grade 1, we learned Shona. There was a Ventures book, Shona. I love the opening statement from that book. Ona Baba, Ona Amai. Who remembers that one? You do, eh? Ona Baba, Ona Amai. Ona Farai, Ona Farisai. Iwe, Diwe, Ini, Dini. Why better? The philosophy chaita but we didn't pick it up. But Iwe, Diwe, Ini, Dini. Simply saying we are different. So, we need to know. You need to know yourself before you choose any career. So, how do you know yourself? There are about 4 things that I want you to take note of during that whole process. Number 1, under know yourself, we've got what are known as values. We've got what we call values. Now, for you to be able to see what I'm talking about in terms of values. Because values determine perception. Values determine how you see things. If I were to say you are going to work in an organization that has got my LGBTQs, or rather what you simply say, gays and lesbians, somebody will say, no matter how much money you're going to give me, I'm dead. So, values determine that. So when we say values determine perception, right? But perception is determined by your socialization, which is what we call in values, the way you see things. So, kune who are actually going out of the country right now. But not all of them visa, but somebody saying, I'm going to check it. And so when this opportunity comes, this is how values determine how you grab an opportunity. An opportunity out of that, a problem out of that. And mazuwa pfuura yakwakuine camp kuSDA ukuko yanga August unoita camps kumaSDA churches anditi umboti ndaona mukana ikoko rega ndotengesa nyama yangu yenguruve dzangu dzandinadzo. I tell you, you come back with no kobo. And because all way that we practice akuziko. And so we need to identify our personal values. What do I value in life as an individual? You know? Ukaenda kune dzimwe nyika kuti kune dzimwe nyika dzisitomborina chechi iwapa you are somebody who's strong in that background. You will struggle. You know? There are people who do certain things, you know, in certain environments. I remember a certain person was given a certain position, are vibrant about it and wanting to change. The first thing that in the first meeting, those isusu panapa tinoita so. And it's up to you. Kuita so nesu kana kuita against. Do you get it? And because of their values, they said, I will not be able to stay in this environment in as much as I wanted to lead a career in this particular domain. So they didn't even spend the 1 month because I can't do it. But who's the people manje vari kuona vekumhuri manje kuti but dzinopenga here dzakasiya basa rakanaka kudaro. You get it? Based on these things that we call values. So they can be personal values, they can be religious values, they can be family values. You know, I want you to do a study of these values. This is your take home. Study these values and how they influence you. Because I don't really put my values. Some cautious or whatever it is, and the money that was spent here, they said, no, money is most cautious. People eating their money, but not, so that's the first thing in the journey of knowing yourself. How do these values influence you? They influence the way you see things, they influence what you talk about, and they influence what you eventually do. Because that's what perception does. Perception says, no, this thing is important to me, I'm going to do it all the way. And the second thing in the journey of knowing yourself is your interests. Okay. So, there are no support at Bora out of peer pressure. I don't like kids. But because the environment is so but there are things that naturally interest you. Why is it that somebody akapua tomboto data? This is the easiest example of interest here. Got to pay unlimited data. What will you spend your time doing?
Right.
When I have limited data, my sites auchano shamira. They're happy. What will you spend your time doing? Tomboti hauna anything else to do. What do you spend your time doing? And I think I've become an addict of things to do with careers, because even looking at log history on the internet, it's about careers. I would rather be doing that. So you find that choosing a career can also, come out of the interests. I've got an 18-year-old son. He struggled with his O-levels. And I don't know, but I don't know A is. I report book. I did that. But he had something that he always showed interest. So I bought him his first camera when he was about 8 years or so. And dokuzopinda ku school year film and film and media, something like that. His results came with 8 distinctions. That's his first semester. Other 8 distinctions, and out of the ones that I had for the first time. Why? Because Arabitas, I'm a fire. You get it? Where is GP? There's somebody who sang this song, so he knows because it's a famous song. Because because you're a journalist. Fight the always because you should be a boxer and getting money out of it.
Yeah.
So what is it that interests you? If you can identify your interests, you can actually leave a career out of those things.
Right.
Okay, so zvimwe zvacho tinozongomanikidzwa zvekuti tizviite, but somebody anogona, I've got somebody who went all the way to school, did the highest masters, whatever it is, then she started sewing. Ndo paiperera nguva yake ipapo akutoresigna kubasa and started doing this, and she's doing very well in Kwekwe from the sewing bit, because that's the interest. So sometimes, as you are growing, as you know, you need to identify your certain interests, and those interests will always take you to another level. So that's another way. So mukamuona achifarira makeup zvezve, fambai naye, aona kuti kutambisa mafuta ekubikisa whatever, ndoba yake. Handle fambai naye, support that, you know. So that's the second. Now, the third bit is what we call personality. Personality. Right, I didn't have time here one day, but this is, I'm in my space. So we can talk on a bit of jump. Personality. Right. There is a reason why uchiti ukapinda muhospital unofila kuti nzvimbo yaupinda isiri. There's a reason why. There's a reason why. Makamboona mamwe mavideo anocirculate wasomva azonzi, please note, this one is not of nervous disposition. Mamozvona? Ekuti ukaona Rwanda rinokutyisa, but umwe munhu, you know, I visited one of these mortuaries. Ndikatoona mufesi achitorwa zvake tiye akachita se achipinda achituna. Would you do the same? Yeah. Who would? Yay! Maybe I'm here to help you discover where you're supposed to. Right? You know? Because those are the things that we never naturally say, when I grow up, I want to be a mortician. You see? But there is a life and a career to be built out of that. Okay, so there's a reason why, you know, you are not even considering kuenda unosenza mumai. It's out of the personality. Somebody unogona kutaura naye, and I think if, you know, especially in Zimbabwe, opportunities, people end up doing, you know, certain things. Now I remember when I was growing up, people making certain decisions on me. Changu chete what you know about was a bit radical. You know, I had people in positions. So somebody says, you know what, teaching. I think it was maybe Mount Teachers College. And I said, no, it's not at school. And I didn't have any other option. And people start saying, hey, because you're too comfortable, you know, because of that. My brother has got a son. Akaita a degree by Itaka Polypnozy. But anyway, commercial, whatever, trading on the internet. So there again came the situation where they said, you walk a 3 days down the line, he was back home. Why? Because I'm serious. Personality. You can't send a judging person to be a marketing person. You can't send a technical person to be a marketing person. It won't work. You can't send, you know, a technical thinkers to become a counselor. It won't work. Because I don't know what you problem, and your problem is your. But somebody will say, come, let us reason together, sit down, I want to understand. It's based on personality. So these personalities, they are about 16 types. They are about 16 types. So if you don't know your own personality, you will then do the feature kind of career selection. So there is an online one which I'm gonna just give you because it's a but there's one free which you can actually make a determination which you need the body career. So I don't know what's 16 personality test. Personality type test. It will help you understand. So with this personality now, you need to determine how useful you are in life. Could Uri a person who's a counselor, Uri a person who's technical, could not leaders naturally, quite announce my defenders. Defenders, they will do so well in the area law nechi. But quite a feeling type, you cannot be an HR person which is without it. You get it? Come on. Dismantle anything with me, these things, and that's the last you ever see of that thing because I hate putting things together. I did it. I hate it. Yeah, no. But give me words, I'll put them nicely. And I can spend time doing that. That's how you begin to identify yourself in the direction you can. It becomes easy. Guys, treat us it. I'm going to treat us and do for now. That's what to pay. What is it that you say, that's better so far? Yeah? Imagine. No, I write computer science. I've got a number of mine. I've got a number of mine who did computer science for Polytech some years back. Remember those in the 90s? Which you put on MS-DOS. And MS-DOS became obsolete. He didn't upgrade. He's doing something else totally different. But Mazwaya is right piece. Computer science. The MS-DOS. But it became obsolete. I did it. Saka teachers didn't piece of wash. Teachers didn't, Yes, who else? Okay.
Okay, just to the education system is there to help you discover
Yes. The education system is there to help you discover. If something and you're dismal at it, doesn't mean that you're not useful. In most cases, we cannot judge how fast a fish can run on land.
Oh, yeah.
I did it. You need to be in your own domain. So it's easy. All of this, you couldn't answer it. Basically, naturally.
When it comes to personality, to apply what you've said, I'm seeing that for me to be guided on what I should be doing, maybe I should look at my personality. There's no way I'm going to then choose something. I'm in front of people all the time.
Yes.
So that's a guidance for you to know.
That's exactly. Because then you melt and in your language, you know. Yes.
Matter about the domain of brilliance. Narrows down. Go to university. You zero in on one.
I'm learning a lot.
It's treat us within time, but there's a lot that we can discuss. Yes.
So for me, I caught where you said when you select a career, you have made a choice of how useful you will be for the rest of your life.
Yes.
It's one thing to choose something and then become useless for the rest of your life.
For the rest of your life.
It was just,
and
that's
we're
intense.
we're experiencing this,
Yeah.
People, I mean, especially Palapereki, I know, Vakawanda Vanando Betsera, Vakawuzwa wants to do something.
Yeah.
Somebody wanted to study law, and I can not do computer science because I can pass. I did it. But she's seated at home. Why? Because I was nakidza, and she cannot be useful. Okay, fine. Let's.
Wow.
So this one here, again, that's your take home. Please Google, personality type test. I did that. Personality type test. tiri personality type test ipapo regarding ngotaurawo neimwe futi inogona kukubetsera because you guys you're growing up, you're also going to engage in relationships. Andidika muchigoogle apa personality type test ipapo ndoda kuti uzoita imwe test futi inonzi the language of love test.
Yeah.
Iyoyo inokudzidzisawo kuti relationship yandiri idiscordant here kana kuti we are in sync. Andidika because you can be a person who speaks the language of gifts and she speaks the language of attention. It doesn't matter how many gifts that you give that person, can a person attention as good. So do those. And the Tilkuma will shock that's a lot as well. So the 16 personality. This is where now we decide which Masha Parizare Kanabuti achanosenza kumind kana kuti achaita musoja because kune vamwe vanongoningira votobva kana kuti achaita mupurisa whatever it is based on who you are. Please discover yourself. Right, let's move to the fourth bit is the skills.
Right.
The skills that you have. So my skills are paid. So you've got the natural, no, look the natural one. So it I taught my client. You know, I lived the greater part of my. No wonder why my son is very good at these things because I used to do a lot of videoing as well. I never went to school for it. Okay, the epitome of my career, I did quite a number of, like the Methodist Church in Zimbabwe, the young year celebration. We were the guys who were awarded the tender to do it. So it was even introducing a number of things that even other people are now doing. I think at that time I also managed to do, I was one of the people who on-site wedding videos. They go to wedding, one CD now. I did it. But I know it's innate. No matter how much you practice, if it is not yours, it is not yours.
It can't.
So I really have always gone against the statement, hey, work hard. Work hard doing what? If you work hard doing something that is within your domain of brilliance, you will succeed, you will excel. I enjoyed sports a lot. But when my sports no, this one won't work out. You leave it out. So with the skills, we are now saying they are natural. They are things. Give me a football, and I'm like a penguin. In a makumbo left. Shibudi. My dear friend and sister here sings. And then I think I've got a dozen of crocodiles, frogs on my throat. It won't work out. I am a guy, I don't know. Maybe she'll tell me, but I know you need to practice. I don't know. But that's it. I did that. So you need to identify certain things that come natural to you. In the absence of education, these things would take you far.
Yeah. Oh. Wow, that's powerful. In the absence of education.
Yes, in the absence of education.
Yeah.
They'll take you far.
That is
Because
powerful.
that's what God gave you to live, to thrive. So what skills do you have? Some are good at talking, some are good at singing, some are good at playing soccer, and they come natural. And then you can enhance them. Some they are they are good at observing certain things. Some are good at querying certain things. Why are they existing? Why is this thing like this? And why shouldn't it be the other way? So these are the things that form your personal self, the VIPs. So any of these, out of these things that you choose, you can actually live a very successful life, a very successful career out of them.
Wow.
Okay. Now, the next part, because we said know yourself, and then we now want to explore certain things. You want to come up with the career ideas, explore the career ideas, because this is the foundation. So let me just, you've captured this a little. Right, let me go to the second part. Okay. How are we doing, guys? Are we okay? All right, lovely. So the next part is explore career ideas. In the modern setup, we no longer say, when I grow up, I want to do this. And every morning I listen to the radio coming to work, and there's this program in Israel, so kids by the spelling teach. Everyone, when they ask, what do you want to do when they grow up, they want to become doctors. And I think, this nation is going to be a nation of sick people. Out there also. But it's because Atina exposure to certain things. I'm going to just give you something very simple for you to do. If you were to walk into a shop, take some magazines, or end up happy. If you were to walk into a shop, take some magazines, what would attract you naturally? I want to attract on motkari, I want to attract on music, so that can actually be a pointer of certain things that you can actually do. Pick any magazine, open it, and start asking questions. What does it mean to work in this environment? What would have happened? You begin to see a lot of careers that are built on that. There's a favorite statement that I like that says, all is mind. Anything else, look around you, you will see vast careers that are there. So we want to explore these careers here. Quickly, you will discover that these careers can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can work in the private sector. Okay? So you can work in the private sector, companies, doing a number of things. Remember, after you've identified, subjects, whatever it is that you pick as there, you can actually work in the private sector. You can actually also work in the public sector. Public sector and government organizations. So, do civil servant. So, you make our decisions, but you can actually make a decision right now. There was a time in my life when an opportunity to become a policeman was dangled in front of me. And here I am, I really wish I had taken it, because this is what happens. I know I'm going to too much commissioner, So, I did. So there are certain things that happen, but you cannot take hold of that opportunity because you don't know how to make use of it. I did that. Yeah, you don't know how to treat it well. I did it. So you can because the public sector not only who are very successful, but but those that have managed it, they are quite successful. Some are actually living outside the country, So you can make a decision to work in the public sector. Everything that you can do in the private sector, you can actually do it in there. Can I work with an accountant? You can actually become a public accountant, public administrator. The third is the NGO, or a churchman not for profit. Are you the person? I don't know. I regular business, regular jamari, So, not for profit, you're saying, here I am, we want to work in the philanthropic area where we're going to be assisting people. So, according to your personality test, you can actually pick and be able to know what the movie, that sort of thing. Can I work in the philanthropic world, NGO, did cheating? What am I good at? What will I be doing there? That's another. Today, the business one, where you can become an entrepreneur. Okay, where you can actually become an entrepreneur. Or to talk about business, rather. There are people who are like that, who have never thought about working for anyone else. And then we've got your talent. Quite a number of these. So again, based on that, you've got a life based on their talents. They can become speakers, public speakers, keynote addressers, and what have you, motivational speakers, and what have you. No composition. My president, so eloquently, and you say, ha, yeah. But no, those guys are just simply parroting what somebody wrote. Speech.
Yeah.
So you can actually then decide, but for my NGOs, the public sector, what. Those are the explorations, the questions that you need to be asking. Kuna wane talent ye body, would then use their body as a career. Bodybuilding, oh, by the way, my other side answer is that I'm a fashion model. Yeah? A fashion model, yeah, I model for certain houses. So you can do that. No, you're going to become a model. Yeah. The others who dance, who's the best paid dancer in Zimbabwe so far? Who knows? Yes, don't go. Tautaura pamari manje pabusiness rikudare papapa he's troubled. Kuna vanoita comedy. I mean, look, the day walker is now there in South Central, so out of making people laugh. So there are a lot of things that can happen. So you are looking at that talent. Kuna nenge vakatopuwa mazita vakatogadzirwa holiday benura in the States. Kwatova ne holiday benura, Zimbabweans, doing it based on kungoeza madombo and doing all sorts. So you can actually lead a career out of these things that I'm talking about. Is this helping?
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Sure. Who has made a resolution but I want to do it here? Shama. Now you can Shama just based on that. Okay. So when you've met, let me leave out this one here. When you've met these explorations, for you guys, this is what I'm going to do for you, for yourself, Aditika, because I want to do certain things. You can come up with a decision. So when you've made this, what I want you to be able to do is go back home, look at the adverts, look at the newspapers, and look at the things that jump out of the page for you. I want you to list 30 of them. The things that that you say, I want to do this. Look at about certain adverts. For 30 of them. Identify Zavano ita ask for indoors and ask yourself. That step we call it a skills audit analysis. You wanna audit the skill sets that you have and learn from them. Identify 30. Look at the things that they're saying they want in the market and ask yourself, do I have this? If I don't, what do I need to learn so that I can be able to do this, and you go for it. The same with even Kutalenduku. If you're a soccer player, who are the agents around? You know, where do you see yourself there? I did it. You know, and start developing relationships that get you to where you want to go. So that's the third thing. The next thing is we want them to create. We want to set goals. I did that after this. You've identified certain direction, your career direction, you've explored that, and then you want to set goals. Right. Guys, there's a fundamental philosophical aspect that says we are goal-seeking organisms. The fact that you are here is because you set this goal kumashuro and it was resolved. That you've set aside and said, I want to be there. Why? Because that's what you've done with your brain and said, I want to go there. Because that's the goal that I want to achieve today. In the philosophy, in psychology, we call it reticular activating system. You want to make sure that what you've said becomes your reality. I did it. So from here now, you then get to the goal setting stage. And start asking yourself some of the questions. Let me just give you some of the questions that will then influence his goal setting. What am I good at? What are my interests? Motivations and values. I'll summarize that. What am I good at? What are my interests? Motivations and values. What subject do I enjoy most? What subject do I enjoy most? I've got a son who can come home with everything else, but art in again 100%. I suppose it's but art 100%. You know. Now it's also because you can actually be able to lead a life. So but we know this person here, media field do market. He's an animator, a very good animator. You see. What kind of lifestyle do I want? Find your desires. What kind of lifestyle do I want? What is important to me? What is important to me? Right. Like a plumber who's called to deal with a blocked sewage, what will people call me for? Like a plumber who's called to come and block, what will people call me to do? Because what you will do gives people your address.
Wow.
So Panas says Maichi Sapaji, one of what is he? Tinobacheni tatsvuka chikakwata pekaitipirire pana chandangoita ndechongoti tingoita whet the appetite, otherwise we could actually spend time doing this, but obviously there's a lot more that others can share. Thank you so much. My departing statement there put it, if the funny thing about this one here, or the interesting thing about this statement is if it is to be, it is by me. If it is to be, it is by me.
Wow.
Thank you.